that you really, really, really care. Now is the time. Happiness and joy. Now is the time. We cannot avoid. Now is the time. Now is the time. Wait a minute more. Now is the time. Young man lies with you. Now is the time. To show that you really, really care. Now is the time. What you give today. Now is the time. Oh, no, no way. Yeah. Now is the time. Now is the time. Helping hand. Now is the time. Brother man. Now is the time. Show that we can. Now is the time. To be responsible. Now is the time. Get the food on the table. Yeah. Now is the time. 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 Yeah. Now is the time. Now is the time. Our humble message. Now is the time. Town and village. Now is the time. This will help you last. Now is the time. You have a duty. Now is the time. Wherever you may be. Yeah. Now is the time. Now is the time. It's more than just giving. Now is the time. It's more meaningful living. Now is the time. To ease human suffering. Now is the time. To give it sincerely. Now is the time. For all humanity. Give. Now is the time. 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 Yeah. Now is the time. 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 Yeah. Now is the time. 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 Yeah. Now is the time. 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 Yeah. Now is the time. Now is the time.
Talk Your Talk with Dale D. Voice, where your opinion matters and the conversation is always open. On the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Think it over. Think it again. Listen. If all of you are shorty, tell him I what you want to say. Think it over. Think it over. Think it again. I sit down home listening to my radio. They say they're going and jam some calypso. They say they have something brand new from Raw Shorty.
I want to say good afternoon and welcome to all of you that are locked on and listening to us on the Street 919 FM. For those of you all that are listening to us via the our mobile app. I want to say good afternoon and welcome to all of y'all. For those of y'all that are listening to us conventionally on Street 919 FM, I want to say good afternoon and welcome to all of you that are on the inside. Today I want you all to jump in on the live. And these past couple days, we all dealing on information. We're being informative on this show, and of course, in terms of spreading the useful information that is needed to be a part, make Trinidad and Tobago a better one. Just about an hour or so ago, I would have listened to an interview, which I feel is key, very much key in terms of what is needed, and key in terms of what are some people thinking, and then of course, you know, in terms of what is going to be the way forward. Now, before I get into it, and those of you that are on the YouTube, I know a lot of y'all been asking, we ain't getting only on Facebook, we ain't know what's going on, this, that, and the other. Let me just explain this for y'all quickly. We live in a very fast-paced world, and social media has developed and is constantly developing every single day. And with social media developing, a lot of people have used social media for ills. A lot of people have used social media for cyberbullying. They've used social media for things that the platform once or other was not created to do. It wasn't created for such. And as such, based on human rights laws and all these different things that happen, social media has taken a stance, and we're talking about Facebook, YouTube, many platforms. On one that some of us may find unfair, because these are the platforms that connect people around the world to hear, to listen, to communicate, to be informed. But there are some parts of the whole thing as well that misinformation passes, and some people, because it's easy to just take what is placed in front of you than sit down and put in some time and effort to do some research. So you'll find that what would have taken place in terms of this is a hub. And I was talking to someone who actually does a program on this radio station, and they called me, and they was just kind of describing, but I find it well unfair how they go do this and that and the other. But you have to understand that the Street 91.9 FM is the only one of its kind. Street 91.9 FM Trinidad is the only one of its kind in TNT. And I started to explain that to that individual, and I started to get a level of excitement and proud. You ever feel proud about something? And I'm proud to be a part of it. Because the Street 91.9, and don't worry, nobody call me to tell me that to big up and this and that, but common sense, and I think that all you listeners and viewers can share the same sentiments. There is no other radio station to date that is able to tell you, come on our live, join us on our live and watch a video that you've been hearing on the FM band, and you're able now to visualize. There is no other radio station that can give you an interview that looks like television, where you're not just only seeing your host, but you're seeing your guests. And guests can bring information and photos and videos to align to what they are speaking about, what they've been brought to do, or what they've been brought to educate you all on. We're the only person. We're the only people. We're the only radio station that can go live at a venue, scene of the crime, scene of anything, and say, we are going live now, you'll need to join us on our platforms. But sometimes, you know, the sweetness of it all, social media just can't handle everything. And then there are the malicious people who would, because they don't like that, you know, they go report the pages, they go this, they go that, they go form all kind of back. And this is why I want to tell you all this. I want you all to type in into your browsers, whether you're on your phone, your tablet, wherever you are listening. I mean, for those of you all that are the YouTube, is okay, well and fine. But for those of you all that you have your mobile phone, you could download the mobile app, the Street 919 FM. If you're not getting it, or your phone is not compatible for whatever reason, you can type in www.street, that's STREET, 919fm.news. I'm telling you again, Street, STREET, 919fm.news. Now on that platform, YouTube could shut down, Facebook could shut down. That platform will be always up and running. You will always be able to hear us. The only way you're not going to hear us is the current go, and even when current go, we are generator. So they can't style we. It had to have a blackout for us not to be heard on those app and those platforms. And I want to just give you all a quick thing. So when you go on the Street 919fm.news, and I want to just pull this here for you all to see that when you go on this platform or this website, and it would look different on your mobile phone, and bookmark it, save it, star it. But when you go there, you would see this Street 919 FM, and in those beautiful tabs there are listen now, watch us live, recorded shows all here, which means that if you want to listen to Miss Sharon Felix and Bruce or Fuad or Pastor Google or Heavy and TC or myself, or even on the weekend shows or whatever, you can click recorded shows which says explore, and you'll be able to see all the previous shows that we would have had happening before. So you don't have to go through YouTube and search right there. And of course, if you want to get updated as to what is happening, because I know we have international family, there's a news section, always updated, latest and current. So when you click news, look at here, TASA National Instrument, government has failed on crime, says Chitom. Murder and cookery. Everything here is updated only on the Street 91.9 FM. And if you want to contact us live, you click the little thing in the corner here that says others. And when you click contact us live, it is going to carry us, it's going to give you the WhatsApp. So for some of you who are having trouble internationally saving an area code, and just click the thing, and when you click the thing, it's going to open your WhatsApp on your device and bring you straight to us. It's giving you all the information you need. Well, it wouldn't pull it up here because of this thing is not logging into WhatsApp web on this browser. There's the calling lines. Everything is right there for you. Right? And if you want to get the social links, you click on social links, you'll see our Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I think we are still doing some work on the Facebook, so we will tell you all that you all could go, because I know some of you all, regardless of what, you love your Facebook. When you click watch us now, you're going to see it coming up here, and when it comes up here, you're going to see the video player load, And then you'll be able to watch us live. And then, of course, for discussions, we have a forum as well that you could be a part. And to be a part of the forum, all you got to do when you click in on Street Forum, and you click it in, and you want to make a comment because no, you like the kakada. You type in, write an answer, and it will ask you to create an account. And from then, you don't even have to log back in again. You'll be able to have your thing. And then, of course, once you have the mobile app, you'll be able to get push notifications when we having special thing, live broadcasts, and all these different things. So you need to save this on your devices. Write it down on a piece of paper. Get your nephew, your niece. Street919fm.news. It will carry you to everywhere that you need to go. It will give you the even if it is you have the listen only. You just want to hear, you rest down your phone and you go, you rest down your tablet, you go on your computer in work. Trust me, for those who in work and you know they just have limited sites that you can't go on, for those of you that can't watch Facebook on your work computer, watch now, we had the plug here. So I just wanted to make sure and I put that in, because I've been getting people calling, messaging, and I know that other people have been getting that as well. The Street, and we always making sure that we on top of the game and making sure that we are always able to connect and stay connected with you. So I'm glad to see 218 plus of y'all are on the inside on YouTube already. In fact, look, it jumped to 28. And I want you all to jump in because I have something that I want to play for you all. And it fits very nicely into what I want to discuss today. Supervisor, I see you was calling, but I wanted to make sure to put all of these things in play first, so forgive me today. But I want us to have great attention to this. And I want to explain something to you. I am Dale the Voice. I didn't name myself that. I didn't give myself that name. That name was given to me. But one of the things that I want us to consume and to retract or get into your system, me and nobody worried. I and nobody is enemy. I don't want to be nobody enemy. I have a job to do. And that job is to bring information to the best of my ability based on my research patterns and expertise, as you would say. And then from there, we have a discussion. And that's what this specific time spot is for. For us to have an open discussion. So it might have a day in like me, but tomorrow you go love me. And the day after that you might love me again. And then the day after that, you mightn't love me as much. But I don't hold nothing. You might tell me something today. You might tell me I'm a fat man, I'm a big belly man, my eye big, it all kind of thing. But the main aim and mission is to open our minds so that we could see beyond. And before I get into that video, I want to also say thank you to all of you that have contributed. I know that the Future Talk, they're very bossy. And they tell people, make sure and write all your show name, make sure and write the Future Talk on the bag so people know the Future Talk and the Future Talk. But I know that we have very humble people who, they don't need that recognition. They will just come and bring what they could. We don't need to amp up the scene. But I must say that I'm glad that the Future Talk is not just stupid talk on an evening, but that the listenership is about edification and growth for the youths of the nation. Because at the end of the day, no matter what we think, no matter what our preferences, we have to be investing in the next generation. All this talk, we just talk here and all the thing. Some of us, we have already lived life. Some of us, we collecting pension. And we want a better tomorrow and a better future. Even to the point that if we close our eyes tomorrow, our country is in safe hands. Our grandchildren are in safe hands. Our children's children are in safe hands. And this is why we don't just come on the radio to vent and talk about issues. But we do so that it would open the mind, because there are government ministers who sit and listen to this radio station. There are ministers and ministers in parliament, both opposition and present government, who listen to this radio station and are able to tell you what is happening on a daily basis, and sometimes with the conversation, it triggers something within them that brings a discussion back to the parliament or back to the caucus or back to wherever, that we can go forward. And this is why I urge and employ everybody to be responsible. Sometimes, you know, you just sit down home and you just have an epiphany in your little alone time. Yeah. And this is why I want to tell all you, we need to be responsible in what we're doing. And we need to always have an open mind. Listen to everything and be open about it. And me and nobody on this radio station, why? In the beginning, I think I would have loved to war some people on this radio station, but then I realized something. They left you and this one in talking, and you and this one on a row, and you and this one on a beef, or you and this one, because at the end of the day, all of we see ones, you know. And we all have different opinions. There are things that we would like, and there are things that we would not like. There are some individuals that I believe they could be a better person and a better individual, and I'm sure they will think the same about me. Dale could be a better person. Dale is a man, he mountain good. And all these different things. But at the end of the day, we have one mission. Give it to the people the best way we know how. Bruce Wayne can't do me, and I can't do Bruce. Miss Felix can't do me, and I definitely can't do Miss Felix. Heavy and TC, well, worse yet. And I will continue pulling Pekong, but at the end of the day, we could all sit down in the room in the back day. When we off here and have conversations, sometimes we will come in because we have a conversation going on. We will sit down in that little foyer there and start a conversation, and we have two different sides of opinions, you know. But what makes it nice is that we have been blessed with a platform that we can be somewhat opinionated to share our views of what we think about a situation jointly with you, the listenership, and then come to a conclusion. But somehow we, you know, we had little hard too. So we mightn't want to hear people like Barataria, and not when I say we, I mean me, I'm talking about other people. Or I mightn't want to hear KFC today, but then I go listen to Mr. Chance talking in the morning by Sharon. But then some people mightn't like my approach and things, so they would listen to me, but they ain't go call. And then others will call and say, Dale, I like what you're saying. Or here we're going. Because they ain't know where I stand. They ain't coming to call because they say if they call me is a means of support for the show. But yeah, boy, I like what Dale said today. I just gain all it real and raw. But we have one mission. One mission alone. And that's it. So, at the end of the day, I would sit down and I would talk here and I go see a man say, hey, for instance, look, I know glimpse across of the chat. A man say, not under this Rowley government. Next one say, fire on the UNC. And they will just go there because these are everybody's opinion. And because I am human, sometimes I may watch this chat and feel so offended. And I might even get emotional. But we still have to remember, we have one mission. One. And I don't know, maybe Heavy and TC and Sharon Felix, Bruce Wayne, Fuad, and Google and all of them could come and say, if I talk in shippiness in terms of our mission, which is country, betterment of country. I think so. I think so. So I want to play this interview. And there's a reason behind it. And I want you all to jump in this interview. Just to watch it. Because it's a form of information. And then we could go from there. Alright? So I want to get in because I don't want to go into the whole intro of the video. I don't see it as being necessary at this point in time. Alright? But I think that we need to listen to this. And I want all you to support me in listening to this. Because I know from the time that I start to play this video, a lot of people, there are some people going to say, you see me, I'm muting, I'm taking off, I want to hear, I'm this, I'm that. No, I'm begging all you. Today's a day I'm begging all you. Listen very carefully. And then we will start to dissect. We could do that? All right. So we're going in. Let's go. Lazy line here. Nice.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking about the body cameras, when I went to these different neighborhoods, the common denominator over and over again is the fear of police. There hasn't been one community I went to in which they did not have a list of people that had died in it could have been a battle, I'm not there to judge, but I mean the common conversation is, why aren't those cameras not used? So maybe you can explain, is not the law here to have the camera working at all times?
Well, it is not law. So prior to me being commissioner of police, things pertaining to police officers being polygraph tested, of police officers being involved in drug testing, and the use of the body cameras, all that that never took place. I thought it was totally unacceptable because these were basic systems that could measure performance and make police officers accountable, as I mentioned. Right. So immediately I put in those systems for polygraph testing for police officers, drug testing, and then as it pertained to body cameras, I couldn't believe that. And when I'm speaking about became commissioner in 2018. In 2018, police officers not having body cameras. Immediately I was able to acquire over 1,000 body cameras, and that would be for over 7,000 police officers. That was more than enough that could have been provided, because you don't need a body camera for every police officer. The body cameras will be there, and we have about 70 odd stations. You have 1,000 body cameras. It means that every single time police officers have to go on a patrol, a roadblock, issue a warrant, being involved in an operation, they can immediately make sure that they have those body cameras. And the body cameras, I did a massive campaign to train police officers to understand this is not a witch hunt to monitor you, but to make sure that you can actually be protected when wrongfully accused by persons. So, and it was a win-win situation. So what I did is I put a standard operational procedure in a departmental order. That SOP in that departmental order made it mandatory that the police officer must wear it. So, and again, unfortunately, because of stupid politics, because of the hierarchy of the police service being cowards and not being able to stand firm on certain things, every single thing that I would have put in as a commissioner of police, it was shut down, dismantled, removed, inclusive of the body cameras. So when you hear the nonsense now that the hierarchy of the police, they do not know why the police are not using it. There have been 30 police killings this year, and I'm not in any way to state that these police killings would have been not justified or whether the officers were right or wrong, but the body cameras should have been worn. And if the body cameras were worn, it means that anybody who will wrongfully accuse the officers will be protected.
Right.
And in the same manner, if the officers use excessive use of force, they will now be disciplined, because now we realize there was excessive use of force. So for them not using the body cameras, it's a lose-lose situation. I think it was totally unacceptable that the head of the Police Welfare Association can have the audacity to say that they do not have to give body camera footage or evidence to the PCA. It's not mandatory. Those are the things that cause the problem. I made sure, like almost on a fortnightly basis, I would meet with the Police Complaint Authority, and those are the type of concerns that would cause public trust and confidence in the police to yet again go down. Initially, when I became commissioner, it was 14% public trust and confidence. When I left, it was 59%. So from the lowest trust and confidence in any arm of the public service, it became the highest. Just a year after I left, it went back down to 8%. And it's because of things like this, where it is that the body camera is there, it's a departmental order. If the officers do not use it, then they should immediately be suspended. So to hear the hierarchy of the police stating, well, we do not know why they're not using it, is because of your failure to understand your role and function and to not take disciplinary action, because they are breaching mandatory departmental orders based on the standing orders that would have been published.
Yes, you know, I'm a strong believer in reverse engineering success. Now, if it's worked in countless states, cities, and countries around the world, why would it not work to build the trust here in Trinidad? I've heard from every side. You know, again, I've heard from the guys with guns that they want the camera on, they want accountability. I've also heard from the police officers on the street saying that you know, sometimes the battery doesn't work, sometimes the camera doesn't work, or the longevity of the battery is not equal to the length of time they're out on the road. A lot of parents will tell me Trinidad is sort of the cause for this increase in crime. Some people like to listen to it before committing a crime. I myself am not a strong believer that music is the reason. Roger Alexander said that he listens to Trinidad music and doesn't go commit a crime. But what are your thoughts? What role does this music play in Trinidad?
Well, let me tell you, my son, he was on the national football team, and he's traveled, he's been playing football for a couple of years in the United Kingdom. When he came back home, and I was commissioner of police, that police commissioner's residence was almost like an adoption agency. We had about 20 young men in that house, and it was just to provide opportunities for these guys. Some of them were on the national football team, some of them, and these were, we're talking about Afro-Trinidadian kids who probably didn't have a proper home. They didn't know where they were going to eat, and we provided that opportunity for them, and my son knew them well. And the type of music I heard, I couldn't understand what was being said, and I will hear that all night. And not one of these guys were bad guys. Not one of them ever broke the law. So this perception of, but let me tell you what happens. This is what happens when politicians and law enforcement heads, they do not have a clue how to reduce crime. So they blame society, they blame parents, they blame the community, they blame the laws, they blame music. They try to find everything under the sun, instead of looking in the mirror to understand the responsibility is yours. So Earl Christopher, that's what she does now. They try to, they say we need Jesus. No, focus on what you can do. Don't blame the music. Don't blame, don't blame society. Don't blame parents. Don't blame the community. Don't blame teachers. Don't blame the schools. Look at yourself and see what you could do. Because in 2018 or 2021, we had the same type of music being played. How come all of a sudden there was some degree of it being, of people calming down? I remember I actually went on stage with Buju Banton. I was actually going to sing, but I would have made a fool of myself. And I understood that, listen, being a commissioner of police, whether you're Minister of National Security, who knows, maybe I'll be Prime Minister one day, my job is to make sure I'm accessible, making sure that I can never be in a position that people will say, well, I can't see him, I can't speak to him, I can't communicate with him. So regardless of who you were, I will ask all persons, you want to be in leadership, make yourself accessible. Don't feel that after the election, you get in a position and they can't find you. And that's why even persons, young men who are involved in criminal activity, I will meet them in cells, I will talk to them, for me to find out what is going wrong, what caused it. And that is what should be important. We have people called criminologists in this country, but a criminologist, their role and function is to go to prisons, interview young persons, find out what caused them to commit crime. They don't do that. What they do is they become law enforcement experts and talk total nonsense that totally skewed from the facts of what caused crime. And that is what should happen. We're supposed to be doing, having interviews, and then we'll understand that the majority of young persons who commit crime is not because they were born criminal. It's not because that they just want to be bad. Sometimes it's just need for money. Sometimes they just bad company, bad decisions. Sometimes one bad decision leads to another. But if it is, we can pull it back, get these young persons, and then when they are arrested, they go into prison. They then rub shoulders with the most hardened criminals. Sometimes they are charged for a matter where the maximum sentence is 5 years and they stay in prison for 10 years in remand. Oh, it's our fault. We need to see about it. That is why my intention is to get back in a political sphere to be able to transform Trinidad and Tobago from the criminal justice system, the use of force policy, better policing, better communities, making sure young people have that opportunity to turn them away from a life of crime. It is a lot of work. But I mean, I worked 20 hours a day, 7 days a week when I was Commissioner of Police. I ended up in the hospital on 2 occasions. There were 43 death threats on myself. And on most occasions, the individuals who made the death threats, when we found them, they apologized. And I realized it was just, sometimes they use the screen to be big and bad. And I let every one of them know, hey, you can't do that. You cannot be going out there threatening people, showing a firearm, and just keeping it controlled. We can fix this country. I give the country the assurance that what this government has done by destroying what I did in 3 years, I can bring it back in 3 months, the day after general election.
You know, when I was in Belize, I filmed very similar. Belize City is a lot smaller in population, 300,000 people, but crime is rampant, gangs rampant. After the first 2 weeks of me filming the gang members in the bad areas, the University of Miami reached out to me. They're sending a team of criminologists down. They want to have lunch with me to discuss my findings. Not because they were embarrassed of what I filmed, but they said, you know, you're filming some information that we can actually utilize, because we don't have the ability to go and talk to these gang members. I hope this conversation that we had can be educational, not only for the people of Trinidad, but for the world. And I'm definitely going to share the information on my future trips. So greatly appreciate your time and knowledge, and I can feel your passion. I am a full-time YouTuber. This is what I do every day of the week, and I've learned so much over the course of the last 3 years. So I put together an online course. It's ridiculously cheap. I mean, the cost is equal to like a pizza. So if you're interested in presuming my case turns out all right and I'm allowed to come back for years and years to come, it would be a great honor to see you in position at the top.
Yeah, well, definitely. Not as Commissioner of Police, been there, done that. So now I need to get back in a position where I can be involved in implementing laws, policies to assist every arm of the protective service, making sure that they can be properly protected. I mean, we have situations now, and in fairness to the officers, I have police officers, there are police officers out there that they have bulletproof vests that are probably about 10 years old, which means that it would be defective. I made requests for armored vehicles to protect police officers when they go into hotspot areas. It was rejected, but the politicians were able to bring in 8 armored vehicles to protect themselves, and they're not the ones who are at risk. And again, likewise, I will continue to double down on the importance of the body cameras. It is totally unacceptable. It is really childish that after you put a departmental order to make it mandatory for police officers to have the body cameras, and this again I want to re-emphasize, almost 90% of the times when the police officers would be involved in some type of a firefight, they were in their right. And that's what the body cameras will do. The body cameras will protect them from being wrongfully accused. If they don't have the body cameras, they may very well face a manslaughter charge because 4 or 5 people can make a false statement about them. The body cameras there protect them. And it wasn't just the body cameras. What I actually did, even in cities in the United States did not have that. I actually put dashboard cameras on the vehicles themselves to provide real-time video footage fed back to a National Operations Center. And all of this was to ensure proper accountability and to measure the performance of the police officers. When I became commissioner, I was not, and I will never be somebody who will be somebody there to abuse authority. And I think because of that, even the criminal elements, they had a degree of respect for me, because they understood that even though you're on this other side of the fence, if it is that you're involved in something wrong, I would come after you. I will not abuse my authority. We had so many allegations of police brutality, And at least with myself, I will make sure that regardless of who you are, there must be a degree of fairness, a degree of transparency, and because of that, even the criminal elements, they had that degree of respect for me. It wasn't that I was the biggest gang leader, but because I had my numerical superiority is what caused a lot of the gangs to realize, look, we need to back off, because I had a structure. I had a structure by the Special Operation Response Team, the National Operations Center, revamping the 999 unit, making sure we had the body cameras, even started putting pepper spray, tasers, different things to ensure the minimum use of force. I can understand before that a police officer will use verbal persuasion, and after that he had to use his firearm. I started putting the bato, the radios for communication to ensure backup, because that numerical superiority will try to calm down any confrontation. Tasers, pepper spray, those are the type of things that will ensure that you will not have to reach to that concept of a police officer having to use his firearm. The criminal elements, well, let me put the gangs themselves. A lot of the gangs had this concern because they will be invading each other's territory. What I did is I took control of the area, where I said, look, if no neighborhood, no area must belong to a gang. And by doing that, I was protecting every citizen of this country, whether you're a gang member or not. And by doing, because many gangs, when I spoke to them when it is that they were held, they will say, well, the boss man, we have no choice. We are trying to protect our turf from this gang. So what I did is I became that godfather to put heavy resources into those areas to make sure that this gang cannot and should not invade another territory of another gang, and vice versa. Whilst at the same time, if we find situations such as illegal weapons or some criminal act, you would be arrested. So by me doing that, it meant that the gangs felt a degree of protection in their own environment and not having to invade others. Yeah. It ensured other gangs as well, certain things that have taken place now, such as extortion, home invasion, kidnapping, all of that was a thing of the past. We were able to, it never happened before, where we actually solved 12 kidnappings. We're hearing comments now about the kidnapping was solved. It's not. You paying the ransom is not solving. What we did is we were actually kicking down doors, finding the kidnappers and rescuing the victim. On 12 occasions that happened, using the type of technology that I had from being involved in getting into the dark web, covert operatives. NYPD, for example, they got 35,000 police officers. About 2,000 of them, the other 33 don't know. They drive taxis, they sell hot dogs. So maybe putting persons in the underworld, having covert operatives, making sure the public has had full access to me, even the criminal elements having full access to me. If at any time there was a police involved in wrongful activity, I would be able to deal with it, and also make sure that the gangs themselves would hold, even if you hold your area, you cannot invade another territory, and you know that there's not going to be a concern of others coming into your territory. Whilst at the same time, whilst not to say that I'm protecting them, but I'm preventing that war, because I was providing that degree of security.
So we're going to pay some bills and we'll be back. When we come back, we'll finish this off and then we'll open the lights. Don't go anywhere, keep it locked.
The Street 919 FM presents Each One Help One, our back to school drive.
We are on a mission to help 50 to 100 kids
with essential back to school packages.
But we need you. Yes, your help to make this happen.
Call, WhatsApp, or text 386-4932 the contact details of any family who may need assistance.
Each One Help One
is open to all our advertisers, clients, and of course, listeners.
Anyone can contribute to help us reach our goal. No contribution is too small.
With your generosity, we aim to support 50 to 100 children with everything from book bags to notebooks, pens, and more.
Distribution of these packages is planned for the last week of August. Remember, contact us at 386-4932. Stay tuned to the Street 919 FM for more updates, and let's make this school year bright for the kids.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
As we transition into summer, we continue to talk politics, current events, entertainment, and what's trending, while balancing the talk with some of your favorite tunes, both old and new. Our purpose is to keep you informed and edify you, as well as to give you food for thought on the current affairs of this nation and the world. Keep it locked to the Street 919 FM every day, all day. Our on-air numbers are
342-0081 and 466-5391. Visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Street 919 FM. YouTube, IWER TV.
The Street 919 FM.
Share the life. Share the life.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
The #1 bookstore in Trinidad is having the biggest back-to-school sale for the holidays.
Shop at Sharon's Bookstore for the biggest back-to-school sale.
All your kindergarten, preschool,
primary, secondary school,
and tertiary education supplies at ridiculously low prices. Sharon's also carries a wide range of sneakers, socks, t-shirts, vests for girls and boys,
and much more items for school. So don't miss Sharon's back-to-school sale.
Now on Eastern Main Road, San Juan, Tunapuna.
2 locations at Trin City Mall, ground level and first level. We're also open on Sundays from 8 a.m. Check us on Facebook for up-to-date info and promotions. Also, message us for a quick response.
Our children are the future. For some, we need to bring back the school chair. Make them smile by contributing for their back-to-school essentials. Remember, any contribution is appreciated. Distribution is the last week of August. It's pick up momentum. So let's make our children's future bright. Drop-off location is at number 56 A Marva Road. Contact number is 386-4932. Contribute. It's all for the children. KC Confectionery Limited tent sale Friday the 23rd and the 24th of August, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our KC Candy Front Sales Outlet, number 95 to 97 Southern Main Road, Hoover. By popular demand, our new and improved Super Strong Mint will be on sale. Ask for your Super Strong Mint now. Special discounts on bulk purchases, limited offer on a wide variety of selected candies, sale on back to school kids pack, and much more. Visit with your kids and participate to win our KC hampers and also other prizes. Come and enjoy this tent sale Friday the 23rd of August and Saturday the 24th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Visit our Facebook page for more information. KC Candy, we make life sweeter.
Tune into The Street 919 FM this and every Thursday from 10:25 a.m. to 10:55 a.m. for the program Conscious Talk.
Emancipation cannot be a one-day dress-up in African card event. It has to be a serious process in which resources are provided to our people to ensure they are emancipated. You cannot develop on handouts. That's another form of domination and control. When programs and policies are put in place so that you can develop economically, so that you can become business people, then and only then we can begin to talk about economic development.
Conscious Talk.
Tobago. Get ready for the reopening of Tobago's premier party venue, formerly known as the Shade Nightclub. On Friday, August 30th at 8 p.m., we reopen the doors to your #1 venue, formerly known as the Shade Nightclub. It's back with an all-star DJ cast on Friday, August 30th, and on Saturday, 31st, Independence Night. IWER Live. Entry free until midnight. Be there as we make history. Be there for the launch of the new name. Email iwerng@gmail.com or WhatsApp 394-3612 or 620-3057 to book your cabanas. Tobago, we reopen the doors to your #1 venue, formerly known as the Shade Nightclub. Independence Weekend. Get ready.
Oh God, call the Lord. Call on Him. Pour on us, God. Oh God, as we pray. Oh.
You are
are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour all-night prayer every Friday evening, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Designed with you in mind, this ministry deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated and can be sent through the First Citizens Bank, account 795222, in the name of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly. For more information, please call 753-1113. May God richly bless you.
The light of your glory.
The Street 919 FM mobile app is now live. Keep in the loop with all your favorite programs. Be in the know first and carry us wherever you go. Listen and watch us live at the click of your fingertips. Download our mobile app now. Go in your favorite app store, whether it be Android or Apple, and type in The Street 919 FM.
Trini Fire Starters and Global Diamond Leaders presents Project 10,000, a business building seminar designed to inspire and empower you. August 24th, UE Teaching and Learning Complex, 4 p.m. Our dynamic speakers will be Gold Leaders, Reverend Joy Dorr, Katrina Chapman Davis, Nathaniel Smith, Peter Maxwin. Silver Leaders, Kiva Maxwin, Susan Mendez. Diamond Leader, Linda Hercules, Kelly Isam Tola. Tickets only $120. For tickets and info, call 283-4813 or 797-2606. Don't miss it.
Renting a car in Tobago should be quick, affordable, and easy. Wow. Here at Onia Rentals, we make the process as simple as possible by using our easy e-sign-up. Yep, we can sign you up from just about anywhere using our tablets. See? All done. And everything goes straight into the cloud. Yeah, you're on your way. Are you coming to Tobago? Book your car rental with us and enjoy the most affordable rates in Tobago. But hurry, because cars go pretty fast. Call 361-1042. That's 361-1042. One more time, 361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals, Tobago, taking you further.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
So I want us to just go in, just have a few more minutes on this, and then we'll open the lines. I've been seeing you all trying to call, but I want us to listen very keenly and attentively before we get into our discussion this afternoon.
And it provided that it minimized that problem of what is known as collateral damage, where sometimes there'll be gang warfare and somebody, an innocent citizen, is in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you go on Arapita Avenue on a Friday night when I was Commissioner of Police, people complained they were seeing too many vehicles, too many blue lights. High visibility caused many persons to calm down. I was able to bring it down. So my last year as Commissioner of Police, we were down to less than 340 murders for the year. It kept going down 20%. Had I continued, the aim was to go to less than 150. And that would be as good as it gets. The 150, the last time we had that was 20 plus years ago, before the problems with gang-related activity, illegal weapons came in. This can't turn around. It is not difficult. The country is right now, there's a high degree of persons losing all degree of confidence. But if I was able to turn around the police service that was seen as the least trusted to being the most trusted, we can turn around Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot that we can do. I am aware of the major concerns of young men turning into gang warfare. It is because of lack of opportunities. It's not a justification, but instead of giving a gang leader $5 million to build a $200,000 box train, you put systems to try to provide opportunities for young men so they would not turn to a life of crime. It is known as secondary crime prevention, where the energies can be utilized in the right manner. We have sport, for example. Not one person in this present government has ever played sport of any nature, so they don't understand. I have been on national teams for years, representing my country in the Central American and Caribbean Games, Pan American Games, Commonwealth Games, World Cup qualifiers. I think I was the first manager to lead a national team abroad in a World Cup to qualify for a World Cup, even before the national football team. So I know the importance of sport. I built an AstroTurf in St. James Barracks 3 years since I left. It has not been touched. And these are the facilities that can be used to turn young people away from a life of crime. Sport, better education, better opportunities for employment, making sure that they will not be profiled by citizens, law enforcement. And again, when we look at what has happened now with this Prime Minister, when he's speaking about trying to remove the shackles of colonialism, instead of doing it by removing 3 ships, you could do it by simple things that are not taking place now. Let me hit you with some. Lo and behold, Trinidad and Tobago still has a law called loitering. That was something that was put in the 1930s to suppress the masses because of limited number of police officers. It was then known as the Trinidad and Tobago Police Force. So if 2 young guys are on a street corner, they can be arrested. We have another law that allows police officers, based on probable cause, which is just how they feel, based on sometimes profiling, it immediately can cause police officers to search any vehicle, which is a breach of your privacy. Your vehicle should be similar to that of your house, where you need a warrant. We have situations where a police officer can charge somebody for known as annoying language. So if you argue with a police officer, you can be arrested. All of these type of laws are totally draconian. They are totally outdated, even as it pertains to firearms, the issue of firearms. I find there should be a right for persons to bear arms. We cannot have it because of the colonial system that has limited persons' capability to have a firearm to protect themselves, to stop their wife from being killed, their daughter from being kidnapped, their son from being robbed. So all of these colonial outdated laws that we presently have, those are the laws that should be removed, because those are the things that have shackled us, and sometimes there is that degree of profiling by police officers, and it is unfortunate, and because of that degree of profiling, it may cause certain degree of disrespect of the police service, but it can change, because these are the same police officers just 3 years ago that there was immense trust and confidence in. People started looking forward to seeing police in roadblocks and so forth, because we had systems to measure their performance and make them accountable.
You sort of touched upon outdated laws. What are your thoughts on sedition? This sedition is a word I never heard prior to my meeting here with the police. What are your thoughts? From my understanding, nobody has ever been convicted of sedition.
The present law, it is so broad. It is similar to the laws I mentioned, where are using abusive or annoying language. So if someone argues with a police officer, he can be arrested here. It is wrong, because it is all based on, it's subjective. It's based on public perception, police perception. Yeah. And sometimes even with sedition, how our law is drafted, it's done in such a way, how you interpret it is how the police officer can charge you. And then when you go to court, the court will, when they analyze it from looking at it from a subjective perspective based on the judge now, he will have something totally different. And then what happens is that the court now will find the person not guilty, and then the individual might now be reimbursed hundreds of thousands of, if not millions of dollars, and the taxpayer will have to foot the bill. Yeah. So it's obviously, these are laws that need to be properly looked at. I'm very it's non-negotiable when it comes to individuals involved in terrorism, persons who may be involved in criminal activity. So in the same way where it is, I stated that sedition is something that you have to be very careful. It can't be somebody just making a comment and you automatically use that as an avenue to target them. But in the same manner, I have always said, and I said it before, if we want to put an end to criminal activity, someone caught with an automatic weapon, that person can kill 35 persons in 3 seconds. If that is not deemed a terrorist, I don't know what is. It means that individual should be charged for terrorism, making it a capital offense, non-bailable, and then he'll be incarcerated for 20 years plus. Instead, criminal elements, they know they can have an automatic weapon, they will be held, they can get $50,000 bail, leave, then go out now to probably put a hit on somebody to have to pay the bill. It's ridiculous. And when I mentioned this to this Prime Minister, he scoffed at it. And it makes you wonder if the state, whether it is that the scales of justice have been so tilted against the law-abiding citizens, it is unbelievable. Whilst at the same time, we have these outdated colonial laws that I just mentioned that should be changed. They must be changed, because these colonial laws were made deliberately to shackle and to control the masses because of the limited numbers of law enforcement we had in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Those things must change, because those things can be used by a police officer wrongfully.
Yeah. What's amazing is sitting across the table from somebody so passionate. It doesn't happen so often. I can see already why the majority of the public loves you. I can see already everything you're speaking about is in regards to peace, no matter who you are. Let's talk about peace a little bit. I think one of the reasons why I got in trouble with the law here is because amongst Trinidadians, it's very well known that crime is a problem. But my platform brought crime outside of Trinidad. Now the world is seeing the problem. There's no doubt there's a problem here when it comes to crime. I'm sure your whole career you've been trying to make that step forward to reduce crime. What can be done sort of like step by step today? Maybe I can even take the knowledge, and when I go to other countries with high crime, I can share what I've learned. But what is sort of like the general 1, 2, 3 steps forward to reduce crime in Trinidad?
Well, crime is a product of opportunity. The greater the deterrent, the less likely persons will commit the crime, because now they know there's a greater possibility of them being apprehended. That's basic criminological theory. So what I did is I pushed high visibility, a rapid response, a heavy deterrent, and put away that product of opportunity. It made it more difficult for the individuals. So there will be these memes a few moments later. An individual can't go on a screen and then say that I have a firearm and boast about it. He knows that I'll be able to find him through the technology I had, whether it involves someone using a firearm, someone involved in kidnapping, home invasion. You jump over that wall, by the time you come back over, we will be there. So there was that heavy policing, but there's also that is just one piece. There's also the aspect of making sure that the persons who have that authority must be controlled. When they have that control, it means even those people on the other side of the law will have no respect for the police. So it is not a matter of let us target these officers because they are involved in abusing their authority. So that's why there was that degree of respect that those on the other side of the law had for me. What I find very hypocritical is persons trying to, well, even like yourself, they will try to say, well, you have exposed the problems of Trinidad and Tobago. You cannot get more in exposing than a prime minister telling the whole world that our main intelligence body, which was the equivalent to the CIA, were involved in a cult, that they were involved in terrorist attempts, that they were involved in a possible coup, and to destabilize the country. He made that comment. So he went out in public and made the most stupid comment ever without any evidence, any witnesses, no one arrested on any of those things. So why will anyone in the world want to invest in Trinidad and Tobago? So, when they accuse individuals of exposing the dirty linen of Trinidad and Tobago, he did it. And he did it without any facts, because from what we gather so far, it is not true. And I think sometimes people may need to look in the mirror before they accuse others. Having said that, my style has always been not to hide something. If there's an issue, hiding it and not letting the world know, that doesn't solve anything. What we need to do is to show, look, we have a problem and we can deal with it. We would deal with it. Hopefully, the day after the next general election, I will be in that position of authority to fix this country, to clean up this country.
What will that title be? Your title?
God knows what it would be, but it wouldn't be Commissioner of Police. Previously, when I was Minister of National Security, it was the highest reduction in serious crime in 31 years. Every single serious crime was reduced. As Commissioner of Police, it was the highest reduction in violent crime in 17 years. So, and it wasn't because of me being big and bad, but making sure I could find a way to just to calm the temperature. People just calm down, let's deal with it piece by piece. And the public started trusting the police started feeling good about themselves, the criminal elements started backing off, individuals started staying in their zone, and we started seeing the difference. People felt the difference. National security, or I should say crime, became the number 4 concern behind health, education, and the economy. Now it's back up to number 1, all thanks to Keith Rowley. So hopefully with this next general election, it will give me that opportunity to totally restructure the police service, transform them as I did, not just the police service, the prisons, the customs, the immigration, the fire, the army, the police, the coast guard, all arms of the protective services. And in the same way, I intend to do the same in every arm in the public service by certain principle of accountability, good management, measuring performance. And by doing that, it will make sure that persons stay in their lane, they do what is required, they do not abuse their authority, whilst those people who want to be on the other side of the law, we can now make sure that they understand there are going to be repercussions because we have the biggest, based on numerical superiority, you're not going to win. Whilst at the same time, understanding that young persons, they're not born criminals. Many of them feel that they are being sidelined, they are being profiled by the authorities, they are not given the opportunity that they feel that they should. And by doing that, if it is that I could provide resources, training, education, turning the energy away from a life of crime, it will play a very big part towards assisting the communities. That is why I was involved in something known as the Commissioner's Cup. We had gangs in certain communities. There's one gang versus another gang in two communities. I said, you want a battle? Do it on a football field. And the young persons in the different communities went on the field, and the gang leaders were on the sideline, and they started understanding, let's deal with our battle in sport rather than with a firearm. That's why sport can be a major tool to transform a country, to reduce crime. Look at what happened in the last two Olympics. Not a medal, nothing. Because we have moved from being gold medalists, hopefully to be medalists. Then from medalists to be finalists. Now we're hoping to be qualifiers because they've put no support, no structure, no assistance in trying to push sport. And I'm not just talking about for people to be world class, but in the communities, making sure that there'll be proper fields, proper training, proper supervision, getting young persons to burn that energy that they have away from a life of crime into probably sport, education, and just giving them that opportunity. They have that opportunity, they believe that somebody's listening to them, it will provide them. And I'm not speaking about government contracts that give them millions in markup. I'm talking about giving young men and women just an opportunity to survive. And if they do that, it is going to take away many of them away from a life of crime.
Yeah, I was walking through Beetham with Plumpy Boss and a bunch of people, and I asked them in general, what would the first step be towards bringing some peace to the community? And one gentleman spoke and said, you know what the kids would really love? Maybe a former football player to come by once a week or once every 2 weeks and just show them that there's other opportunities. I'll tell you what, no matter which area I went to with guns, everyone spoke the same and said, look, if that other person down there wasn't going to come and take this, I wouldn't need to be holding this gun. And I'm not justifying what they do in any sense. My whole goal is to start a conversation, speak to people like yourselves, much smarter than me, on the subject, and I think together there's got to be a way to make it a more peaceful country, because I love Trinidad. I've never in my life felt so much love and welcoming, even when nobody knew who I was. My first day as I walked down the street, the smiles and the warmth of the people, I don't think people will understand it when all they're thinking about and hearing about on TV is that's CJ.
Taking calls, I'm opening the lines, and I'm warning you all from now. No disrespectful commentary, please. Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. This is Brother Gary Griffith. I find nobody not asking him. He went and testified before a joint select committee. Look what's going on in the country today. He went and testified before a joint select committee that the opposition spending $42 million to between two gangs to destabilize the country to get them back in power. And nobody says, this is a man who advised the Prime Minister at that time, Kamala Prasad, to withdraw from every security apparatus on this country that make the underworld powerful in this country, brother. Right? If we do have people like them, Trinidad and Tobago will be feared better. But these are the hypocrites. Cambridge Analytica was formed under him. Gary Griffith. Okay, have a nice day.
Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Afternoon, sir, boss.
Good afternoon.
Me say nothing on that. Earlier, I want to hear you say certain things of some who wouldn't like you for what and who, or they wouldn't like you for another. I don't like you at all.
Like just today. Tomorrow.
I don't like you at all.
Tomorrow.
And all, no fat man, no nothing, snotty nose. I'm going.
Caller, good afternoon.
You get blast me, boy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, partner.
You win on mano.
You get blast me, boy. Then we can easy. But what are we just get that gas from the point in the mouth to run it like a Bedford engine? That man move like a Bedford engine with that tail pipe like an exhaust from a TriStar. Oh God, Gary, give you a chance and nobody wants you. Nobody wants you. You concoct that meeting. You concoct that meeting with that fella there to say all kind of things. Gary, nobody wants you. Go from here. Oh God, when you go hear that, oh God.
Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is there some direction you want to go with this interview? Because I was trying to understand what direction you want to go with this interview. I'll share this interview before I show.
What? No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was asking if it's different because there's this man killing a lot. But the fact remains, you were commissioner in 2018. And late 2019, we had something. We had a pandemic. The half of the country had no choice but to be inside. So I tried to understand his claim. I tried to understand because half of the tenure, the population was behind closed doors, and they were mandated to be behind closed doors. So I tried to understand all this success. So we claim that harder, and we claim to get. I can't seem to recall all that because most of the times in his tenure, half of the population was locked up in the house. And it was only essential to come outside. So I don't understand. I don't understand half of the things we saying because to me, I can't imagine most of the things happening on there and being real. I have a little bit of biasness. I don't know him, I never know him, never met him, and we don't really care much about him. But I didn't see half of the things he talked about on that interview. We claim to say you do, I didn't see that. And I can't recall seeing him in any community doing anything. So I don't know, maybe if it happened, I didn't see it. But again, I mean, this man just amazed me. Well, the second he get a chance to run, he just take off like a jet plane. But like I say, is there any, by showing this in this interview, you can laugh our feedback or something?
Exactly what you do is the purpose of it right now.
All right, because I tell you, he was commissioner in 2018, so more or less 21, and half of the tenure was we are COVID. Late 2019, we are COVID in the 22, and he came out 21. So I don't understand what he claims at all. We trying to claim he is very delusional. So to me, he comes across very delusional at times. Anyhow, I'm missing some space.
Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, I'm there. I went to Google the second highest murder rate in any year in this country, and you see it's under Gary Griffith. He claiming the success in a curfew. We have 300 and something murders in a curfew. He had a birthday party sometime, and here, as the commissioner, here we need for a birthday party. Somebody for rape. I don't want to call the people. He had the EMBD man. He had Mr. Us, the football man. All of them was them by the party as a sitting commissioner. You could tell me about these people. The second highest murder rate was under him. And he had 300 and something murders in a curfew. What success he had? Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I had the same question this gentleman had, trying to understand the logic, because if you add nothing to it, whether you agreed or you disagreed. And I kind of doze away because Gary put me to sleep. I don't want to get bags under my eyes. So Gary come like, when you want to sleep, you could turn on something to hear Gary. Because if you observe, Gary has been repeating the said same thing for the past 2 years, most likely. Hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Nothing. And he can't add any. And all he is doing is the information that he has is letting it out to the public. Or the government bought 3 bulletproof vehicles. If I buy military, and I keep saying, every time Gary Griffith modernize the police service, he get them better arms, he get them, the bandits modernize themselves, because when the police was coming with a 6-shooter, I had a 6 or a 9. When the police move and they turn military style, the bandits, the police can't be coming at me military-wise, submachine-wise, and I still have a 6 or a 9 shooter. Isn't that the fact? That is the fact. So when I get a bulletproof vehicle, what will happen, boy? Then the police now automatically would become a target, because there's a video going around, I think you probably played it, where a man showing the phone somewhere, maybe if it's Belmont or Port of Spain or way, and the police and them breaks him because they ain't even sure where the shot coming from. Not so. So when I get them a bulletproof vehicle, what do you think will happen? I could aim the shot. I ain't killing nobody because I know they'll ever go, and all of them locked down inside, they can't come out. So I just bust in shot at it. Just because. That is what we want to encourage. Why Gary don't tell me how the arms are coming in? Why Gary don't tell me when he went down to Cedros how they tell him to pack up and leave when they complain about the Venezuelans? That people are hiding on the beach and feeding on the beach. And he went down to sort that out. He couldn't sort that out. They tell Gary, he tell them all down here take a lie detector test. And they tell Gary jump on it. Because Gary created a parallel. Yeah, we just talk about when I was there. And I keep asking people, so when Gary leave, what will happen? When Gary have a number called 800 Gary and not called Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So what Gary did? Gary didn't give the police service any moral that when he leave, the police standing would be of the same. When Gary leave, Gary parallel police service left along with Gary. Not so? When Gary was moving, he had more detail than the president. 4 vehicles, if you look sharp, I don't know if all was armored. And the man was assisting him was former military men. Not so? Not members of the police service. So who Gary coming to talk to? Gary did nothing to improve the police. You ever see Gary with a body cam? Anybody could tell me. We saw our police commissioner presently trying to encourage our members to wear the body cam. All the talk Gary talk about the body cam. You ever see Gary with a body cam? Where he had was a whole media crew moving with him. Anyway, you go in your whole media crew. That was Gary good for. Gary was good for PR. To try to frighten people. That Gary coming for you, Not the police service of Trinidad and Tobago. So if Gary was to die on one of the projects, that's not how he died because he lost the work and he have at a banker. So that dead. And what happened to the police service? We have 13 members, high-ranking members of the police service went up for commissioner, and 11 of them failed a lie detector test. Why Gary didn't ask for them to go home? And that is why he brought a parallel police service. Ask them why they brought Gibbs and Watsky under he being commissioner. National level. Who was Jack Bonner at that time? They brought Gibbs and Watsky, one by a plane, one by an expensive BMW. And what happened to them? The police in Trinidad and Tobago wasn't agreeing with them. What they leave you with? Where they park up, turn on your blue lights. Man, I'm going back to sleep. Very good night.
Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to find what it wasn't Kamala who said everybody must have a licensed gun. And why we have so much gun in Beijing? Because people started to buy gun when everybody must have a licensed gun.
Is that
People
so?
start buying gun.
Is that
That
so?
is why we have some. Huh?
Really? That's so?
I feel that is it.
No, that can't
Because
be it.
they say everybody, Kamala said everybody must have a licensed gun. But why?
They
And
had
what causing this?
they had
What
guns
caused-
out before that statement was said. Come, don't do that. Don't do that at all.
All right.
Don't do that. Call I get out to no come. If you're coming to before you go on, Angie, if you're coming to make a contribution, make the contribution but make sense. Don't come to say because a statement was made guns it had guns and crime way before all of that was going on. Crime just now out of hand. Right? Go ahead.
Dale,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's serious thing, but you see me, I can't bother to be stressed. But I think it's yesterday you show something with Gary doing some interview, right?
Yesterday.
What?
No.
Is it yesterday? Some days doing something. He was doing that. You put a show. I'm almost certain it's you, but he was doing some interview. What he good? You find he look like Trump without the orange hair.
Bye bye, Angie. Go ahead, get out to the one. Come.
Damn, that is shit, lady. You don't like that, son?
Yeah. I tell you, they love me. They love and hate me at the same time.
Hey, girl, the way that she mama, the young girl. You understand, the dollar Gary today, and like she calls us back sometimes. I'm a bit, Gary exhausts me a little bit because I don't think that there's anything new Gary could say. And the day Gary is pretty much in my mind like Kamala. It's more about Gary. As it's for Kamala, it's more about party than it's nation. It's more about Gary than it's anything. I think he means well, but he has a real inflated ego and seems to be very narcissistic. Remember under Martin Joseph, we had the blimp, right? Remember we had SAUTT, so remember we had our first incarnation of those. At that time, there was a lot of kidnapping for ransom and all of that stuff. And with the inclusion of the blimp and with the national security apparatus, at that time, the kidnapping was decreased. You know, I just heard the interview that you talking about under him. They found so much kidnapping, but in that time under Martin Joseph, and not only that, the radar that we needed, Trinidad was like the hub for the entire region in Caribbean. And it wasn't a Martin Joseph national security policy. It was United Nations. It came out of the United Nations in terms of pivoting Trinidad and Tobago to provide coverage for the entire chain of islands from Trinidad. The radar would have been all of that. So here comes the election of 2010. And a lot of what was put in place and a lot of the intelligence that was really useful to break down some of what we had somehow dismantled. And, you know, nothing happens overnight. Of course, everything will grow and fester until it becomes mature and adult. So I think we are reaping a lot of what happened before. If you realize from 2015 with the elections to now, I need you to tell me 5 good laws that the opposition literally went to parliament and supported when it comes to crime and the issue of crime that would help secure the nation. As a matter of fact, some of the laws that was passed when they were in government, when they got the support of Dr. Rowley, and by the way, I'm not hedging for anybody. I'm not choosing a side. If there's any side I'm on the side of Trinidad and Tobago. But I'm calling it as it is. You say to come good, right? So Dr. Rowley supported a lot of the laws to ensure that we could be secured as a nation. Under this 9 years that we are actually in an election year, because the election can be called anytime within 3 months from now. election could be called, right? Because we passed the 10th of August, so we in the election year. So not much has been done by the opposition. As a matter of fact, it's so sad that the opposition, who had an attorney general that passed some laws to help deal with the crime, as soon as he was fired and as soon as they went into opposition, he took up the matters for some of the people against the state in the laws that he was manager over for the state. Now, if that is not a sign to Trinidad and Tobago as how deprived some people can be, how naive some people really are, for us to believe now that these are the same people we want to put back in power because the election in an election year. Some of these people are sitting in our parliament, as I said before, and they are known to be charged. They are people before the court. I'm saying to Trinidad and Tobago, we yet have not decided what we really want for governance. And the truth is, we will never get a perfect government. But can we get a government? I see Dale as first person, Google talking about it earlier. But wait now, the sports company wins some money on a matter that the people say will never.
Well, you're strained.
So in terms of Gary, I don't think Gary brings nothing new to the picture. But we would see Gary again if Trinidad take God out their thoughts and put the opposition as the ruling party. God bless.
Thank you. Just before, caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, dear brother and friend, Dale the Voice, dear journalist.
Good afternoon.
This is Tabakit here, Mr. Journalist. First of all, let me congratulate you for your editorial with the interview with the former Commissioner of Police and former Minister of National Security and the Christmas list. I want to say, I think everybody missed the ball, missed the mark, and missed the point. You see, I'll tell you something, journalists. Sometimes they have a saying, slow to speak and quick to listen. Not all barrel that come down rolling the hill. They say, if you put an empty barrel on top of the hill and it coming down, all you're hearing is bang, bang, bang. But let me say this. As far as what I know, we have a Minister of National Security and a minister in the ministry. There is a Commissioner of Police. Gary Griffith is none of those. And I'm saying, if we continue to call the radio to curse out Gary Griffith and whatever interview is being played, to the end of the day, if we cannot call with a solution, and all we could do to go back to 1901, then we can't solve crime, Mr. Journalist. You see, there the voice, the editorial that you play, what Gary was doing, he was highlighting the weaknesses that is still there. Mr. Journalist, permit me to repeat. In your editorial, in the interview with Christmas List, all the former commissioner and former minister was doing is highlighting the weaknesses, the void in national security. And let me tell you, and I'll add my contribution to that. What I see, what the former commissioner was telling us in regards to surveillance and detection, it's at an all-time low. Let me repeat Dale the Voice. What the whole interview was telling you, the archaic laws, surveillance and detection. And we could call whole time and curse Gary Griffith. That ego solved the problem, you know. Gary Griffith is not there that a 5-year-old child and the father were murdered. An 85-year-old woman was robbed and nearly killed. Home invasion galore. And I am saying, if after you give such beautiful editorial and all they could do is call and curse Gary, I say maribontas, or you're taking it at a different level, tabak it out and off. Dale the Voice, good editorial, tabak it out and off.
Thank you, Tabakit. Okay, that's another way to look at it. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Let me say good afternoon to you, Daily Voice.
Good afternoon.
And Daily Voice, I sit down here. And that is the reason why I take 2 steps back from the politics. Because we are some months to go still. I'm not going to care about myself. But I cry this afternoon again. Because Daily Voice, you do a small editorial. A passionate small editorial. Something where, don't matter if it's a UNC, or it's a PNM, or whatever party it belongs, you will understand the words. You don't have to like the person, you know, but they understand that, hey, this person trying to say something, he's trying to get something, he's trying to open somebody's eyes somewhere. And after you play the interview with Gary Griffith, Daily Voice, I now understand why the criminals taking the wall to the government. I now understand. Because when the criminals listen to these ignorant PNM callers, they know there is no hope. A 5-year-old get killed, you know. And they'll continue paying PNM and UNC. They divorce. When we start losing our future, our toddlers, we in a society of hell. Our future prime minister, future doctors are getting killed. And we calling in to talk about Gary Griffith, UNC, Kamala. That's what people only talk about, you know. No sympathy for a 5-year-old. Dr. Rowley, you have a granddaughter, you have a grandson, and I know if anything happen to them, you're going to feel a sort of pain in your heart. Daily Voice, what country are you living in, boy? What? I hear about 6-7 calls calling before I call in, except Tabakit. They ain't come with no solution but to blame Gary for crime. Only in power, boy, and jail. If Gary didn't do it good, all do it good now, nah. If Kamala didn't do it good now, all in power, what's set in it? Yeah, these people are bright, but they're ignorant, you know. They believe they're intelligent, but they're not intelligent. They are dunce, and the mind full of party politics. That country, I can say I for country because I leave PNM in power. I went in the ILP, I went, so I looking for the best political party. And if tomorrow Kamala and the UNC F up, I'm gone. Nobody controlling me, no. People feel somebody controlling me. Somebody feels somebody doing, no. They're the voice. Again, after your passionate editorial, boy. After your editorial, what people could sit down and listen to. Don't care if it's a UNC. Don't care if it's a COP. And then you play for solution. They ain't calling to give solution, you know. They ain't calling to ask them to say, well, Prime Minister, boy, you know you're looking bad. You know, come on now. They're the voice. We have 2 Minister of National Security. And they fear that 5-year-old. Because I believe, they're the voice. When a government tell me, Kingsley, who asks Dr. Rowley, PNM government, where's the crime plan? And they say they have no crime plan. I believe the government is supporting criminals and killers in this country. Because you must have a crime plan. Today, Kamala Harris, who the PNM supporting, she rolling out her crime plan for the people of America. Today, who I supporting, Trump, he are rolling out his crime plan. Only in Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Prasad have a crime plan. Manning, Undertaker, what's this? I can't remember. Manning have about 3-4 crime plan. Jack Warner, crime plan, Blasio Pandey, crime plan, Eric Williams, crime plan, NRL, crime plan. We have two, and I heard in there the voice. The voice I heard in there. Because when children start to get killed, and as I close, this is not the first time a toddler get killed. But the voice, what I observe for the past few years, every time a toddler get killed in this country, Dr. Rowdy go on social media and be passionate, be caring, be aggressive with the words, showing some kind of soft heart. But I want to ask Dr. Rowdy something this afternoon. Is social media is a crime plan? If social media is a crime plan, I want to know. They're the voice. Dr. Rowdy said 24 hours before he sent out a press release about a 5-year-old get killed. They're the voice. Why is we celebrating pan and powder and PNN? 4 individuals get killed. Oh my gosh, we have no mercy. Why is we in town? Why is Dr. Rowdy, the mayor, the MPs, the councillors, Panchembengo leader, why they was studying pan and powder and PNM, pan and powder? 4 individuals get killed in Tobago. And we, if you see people, if you see PNM people in that pan and powder and PNM, they're the voice. I ask myself every single day, is this Trinidad and Tobago? I didn't born in a country like this. I born in a country of a paradise. I born in a country where I know the neighbor used to look us for a child. Now today, we studying pan, powder and PNM and bloodshed. Now we're saying, I'm killing. Here the plan, Here what Dr. Rowdy and them plan. To keep pan and powder and those are the and the criminals. We have 2 ministers of national security. They fail this country. How we could have 2 national ministers of security and no resources coming out? But if I could cough this afternoon, I'll cough all of Hey!
Coming far land in Kingsley.
They are going to because I was them. I'm going.
Daily Voice, good afternoon, Tobago. I remember a couple of months ago, the Prime Minister stood on a platform in Sawa and mentioned that he will be giving the army $100 million to help fight crime. Up to today, this $100 million is no way, you understand, to be found to be help for the army to help fight crime. So how serious Rowdy is about crime? You tell me. Rowdy serious about crime at all? Or just talking and election right there in 2025 right there, I hope you know that, you know. I hope you know that. And they still doing Tobago. Well, I know PNM dead in Tobago, you know, and the dead berry gone and forgotten in Tobago. So I'll see what they will do down there.
Afternoon, Dale, and to your listeners, you know. But I and them, not knocking him or nothing, but, you know, when I was like a voice in the wilderness, talking about the bad choice of Mr. Griffith for Commissioner of Police, a whole heap of them was in agreement with Dr. Rowley's decision. But as soon as Dr. Rowley said that he made a bad choice, then automatically they realized that, yeah boy, Gary no good for the job. But once again, I didn't get to listen to the whole interview, but once again, I see Gary clearly contradicting himself because you're speaking about what the benefits are if the body cameras were regularly used, and you know, really embraced by the police service and the benefits it would give both the police and the citizenry. But when you had officers who are accompanied by members of the defense force paying Karen Clark a visit on his premises, that was footage that you could have been honest with the nation about, Mr. Griffith, but you choose to hide behind a lie and say that maybe they were securing politicians' name, when it was clear as day to see these gentlemen taking slabs of money and trying to fit it in between the uniform, down in the crotch, under the top part, and down in the trousers. So Gary Griffith and them, to me, is just a continued waste of time in this country. And as I say, if Bataria and many others could only see certain things after politicians do it, then they too ought to go in the category of Gary Griffith and them, because it is ridiculous. You understand? As I tell you, I was like a voice in the wilderness. Every day I call in and talk about plant-like substance before they actually reveal to the country is weed, because persons were being persecuted day in, day out for the same plant-like substance that it was never called when they find it on them, offer them around the, you understand? But as they find it on the gazebo ledge, it's plant-like substance, and the police apparently don't know. Nobody in command people and say, boy, I read what they tell the nation. You understand? I locked on, brother.
Good afternoon, Dane. I find Guy Griffith talking a little too much. You understand? He need to shut up. Because I don't think nobody really taking him on. You understand? He just promoting himself because he want to be Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? So he just need to, hush.
I'm trying to get in there, but I can't get in, right? So I'll have to send another voice message again. And I hope that you play it. And if you could play it till the end so that people could understand what I talk about. But when you play peace, they're going to hear the ending up. All right? So you have a lot of my voice message to play this evening. But Gary and all put me to sleep. Because I load on the phone because I didn't want to hear no more of him. Yeah? When I opened back my eye, you was already talking. All right? I didn't want to hear no more of that man.
Caller, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Dale.
Good afternoon.
I take clean the program only. What's the best subject in school? Science or what? You show that little 7 good guy, Griffith, and the white guy who come from Canada there and doing an interview. Everybody and Gary Griffith, Gary Griffith is not the problem. Like my brother in Kingsley, everybody going mad. There's a 5-year-old get gunned down, 5-inch head, and the Prime Minister in the Minister of National Security now let him come out and hold up a big press conference. Them staying on social media, them papi showing people that come like the same thing with the Prime Minister, them no science, show this panting. So the next show is gonna be customer and put the tassa, put the pan and the doubles too. Because the doubles make here too. I locked on listening by as much as evil going in this place. I'm not even really sure at all, by.
That's it for today, guys. See you all tomorrow. News up next.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM. As we transition into summer, we continue to talk politics, current events, entertainment, and what's trending while balancing the talk with some of your favorite tunes, both old and new. Our purpose is to keep you informed and edify you, as well as to give you food for thought on the current affairs of this nation and the world. Keep it locked to the Street 919 FM every day, all day. Our on-air numbers are 342-0081 and 466-5 5391. Visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Street 919 FM. YouTube, IWER TV.
The Street 919 FM. Share the life. Share the life.
At the Center for Integrated Medicine, we provide a new meaning to personalized and integrated medicine. We are about unifying medicine and providing a full spectrum of therapeutic options tailored to suit each client's needs. We believe that the body can heal itself from all viruses, illnesses, and diseases. At the Center for Integrated Medicine, we have developed proven strategies while using our innovative technology to assist your body's healing process. Commit to a healthy body today. Call us at 610-3428 or WhatsApp at 305-6118.
Our children are the future. For some, we need to bring back the school chair. Make them smile by contributing for their back to school essentials. Remember, any contribution is appreciated. Distribution is the last week of August. It's pick up momentum. So let's make our children's future bright. Drop-off location is at number 56 A Marva Road. Contact number is 386-4932. Contribute. It's all for the children.
Looking to buy local handicraft, clothing, food, or spa services? Looking for a small business as a local supplier? Visit the Women's Village at St. Park, Shogunas, Friday, 23rd August 2024 from 10 a.m. Engage in local female entrepreneurs with something for everyone. Buy on site or network for future collabs. Come learn about the 3-step grants for survivors of gender-based violence. Entrance to the Women's Village is free and local goods and services on sale. Invest in women and accelerate progress. Hosted by the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs.
Tobago. Get ready for the reopening of Tobago's premier party venue, formerly known as the Shade Nightclub. On Friday, August 30th at 8 p.m., we reopen the doors to your #1 venue, formerly known as the Shade Nightclub. It's back with an all-star DJ cast on Friday, August 30th, and on Saturday, 31st, Independence Night. IWER Live. Entry free until midnight. Be there as we make history. Be there for the launch of the new name. Email iwerng@gmail.com or WhatsApp 394-3612 or 620-3057 to book your cabanas. Tobago, we reopen the doors to your #1 venue, formerly known as the Shade Nightclub. Independence Weekend. Get ready.
Oh God, call on the Lord. Call on Him. Pour on us, God. Oh God, as we pray. Oh
You are invited to join Pastor Morris Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour all-night prayer every Friday evening, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Designed with you in mind, this ministry deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated and can be sent through the First Citizens Bank, account 795-222, in the name of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly. For more information, please call 753-1113. May God richly bless you.
the light of your glory.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us but it's happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Young people of our nation, ignite your wellness journey with Nature's Touch Youth Health Caravan with Princess Omega and Associates. Prevent ill health today and reap the benefit of good health tomorrow. Join us every second and fourth Saturday of each month at 9:25 a.m. to 9:55 a.m., where we bring to you innovative health solutions. Invest in yourself today by ensuring that you're enjoying optimum health. We are located at number 3, 7th Avenue North via the Eastern Main Road, Barataria. For further information, please call or WhatsApp us at 868-310-8671 or 364-4464. Remember, at Nature's Touch, your health is our priority.
Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. Everybody just share the live. All on Facebook, share the live. All on IG, share the live. Share the live. Share the live. Everybody just share the live. You listening? Listen now.
On Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
I want everybody to share the live. Downtown Posse have to share the live. Uptown Posse have to share the live. Share the live. Share the live. Everybody just share the live. Tobago, share the live.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world, the Street 919FM.com.
News from the Street 919FM.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. This is your 4 p.m. news. I am Dale Edwards. Let's take a look at the headlines. Man found dead at home. Mom thanks God for sparing her son's life. Tutor defends teachers and blames COVID for poor CSEC scores. The TASA Association claims TASA is more local than the steel pan. And regionally, Grenada to mount trade mission to Guyana. Let's take a look at the news in detail. A man identified as Rajkumar of Dunfield Street, Gasparillo, was found unresponsive at his home around 12:25 p.m. on Wednesday. The police and emergency health services were notified, and a team of officers led by PC Roberts and PC Town responded. Attempts were made to resuscitate the 57-year-old, however, they were unsuccessful. The body was viewed by a district medical officer who indicated that no marks of violence were observed, and as such, authorities said foul play is not suspected at this time. In further news, the mother of Navin Bedasi Wahadi Ramjas, who survived Tuesday's fatal crash that claimed the life of his girlfriend, Kaylee Punan, insisted that her son was not reckless despite being involved in 2 fatal crashes within the past 2 years. Ramjas said she believed the souped up Mitsubishi Evo 6 was defective and the son could not handle the speed when he took it for a drive with Poonan on that night. She also mentioned that 2 years ago, Bisadi had survived another crash that claimed the life of his friend Ron Mohammed, but she noted that Bidasi was not the driver in that accident. Responding to social media reports had brought even more grief to the family, Ramjas denied that Poonan was pregnant. God for sparing her son's life, also adding she said Bidas was fortunate to survive and hoped he would be discharged from the hospital in time to attend his girlfriend's funeral. Tutor President Martin Lumking said other factors may have contributed to 64% of the region's students failing math. He cited physical conditions, health and safety, as well as violence and indiscipline, which have negatively impacted both parents and teachers. He said, while the pandemic is over, its long-term impact cannot be ignored. He stated that a post-mortem is important at this time and expressed concern that tutor has been very involved in the exercise spearheaded by the Education Ministry. He agreed artificial intelligence and technology can be used in a positive way to improve students' performance, but said research must be done to utilize it properly. On the issue of cheating, Lumking said students are likely taking this route because of a lack of preparedness. He also believes that they are failing victim to peer pressure and society's expectations. One of their concerns tutor expressed about the infrastructural issues. When results was released on Tuesday, CXC Director of Operations Dr. Nico Manning said educators have had 2 years since the pandemic to get students back on track. In more news, a recent meeting held in the PNM's La Hoquita Talparo constituency conference at Phase 2 La Hoquita, Dr. Keith Rowley made a comment where he noted that as much as people may like the tassa and other instruments, their origins are from other countries. Also acknowledging and supporting the steel pan as the country's first national instrument, Tat yesterday said no part of the steel drum is from TNT, as it is a fully imported metal container that came from other countries into Trinidad. In return, Tat said the tassa, which is also played every day in this country, is fully made with no imported materials. Tat said what was done in Trinidad with the imported steel drums was the retuning and fine-tuning the steel drum pan into a full musical instrument. Tat claimed that the imported steel drum metal container already came with a sound. However, I thank the nation ancestors for rebelling against their colonial masters to set off a chain of events which led to the creation of the steel pan. Let's take a look at regional news. Grenada is sending a delegation to Guyana next week in a bid to improve trading relations between 2 Caribbean countries, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell announced on Wednesday. Mitchell, who is also the current chairman of the 15-member Regional Integration Movement, said that a team from the Tourism, Economical Development and Culture will be traveling to Georgetown next week, and that the specific purpose is to do a business and trade mission in Guyana and to launch direct flights between Guyana and Grenada. But he said in order to capitalize on such an opportunity, the small business has first to go through Miami in order to reach Guyana. He said from a Grenada perspective, we absolutely believe that the government have to support the private sector in providing air transportation and marine transportation. Now let's take a look at sports and the weather. In sport, Trinidad and Tobago Football Association said it is committed to restoring the financial stability and integrity of the organization. Karen Edwards took over as TTFA president in April 2024 after the Robert Haddad-led Normalization Committee ran local football for 4 years. The TTFA said the effort comes at a critical time when substantial resources are needed to finance its drive towards qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now let's take a look at the weather. Trinidad and Tobago and the southern windwards will be hot and sunny, with conditions will be interrupted by a few partially cloudy spells with isolated showers. There's also a low chance of isolated heavy showers or thunderstorms favoring western areas. The night will be mostly fair despite isolated showers. And also take note that there is gusty winds and street or flash flooding that may occur in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Max forecast temperature would be 34 degrees Celsius in Trinidad, and Tobago would be 32 degrees Celsius. Seas are going to be slight to moderate with waves between 1 and 2 meters in open waters and up to 1 meter, but up to 1.5 meters in the leewards in sheltered areas. Let's take a quick look and recap of the headlines. And found dead at home. Mom thanks God for sparing her son's life. And tutor defense teachers blame COVID for poor CSEC scores. The TASA Association claims TASA is more local than Steel Pan. And of course, regionally, Grenada to Mount Trade Mission to Guyana. That was your news to 4 p.m. on the Street 919 FM. I am Dale Edwards. Do have a fantastic evening. Up next, Future Talk with TC and Heavy Duty.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.
Future of Talk with